unstoppable, unbreakable, unstoppable, unshakable. They knock me down, I get up again. I am the champion. You're gonna know my name. You can't hurt me now. I can't feel the pain. I was made for this. Yeah, I was born to win. I am the champion. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. We appreciate you. We love you. It seems like no one could do the job that you have to do, yet you guys wake up every day and you are superwoman. So thank you so much. We love you. Today I wanted to talk to you about something new that I'm going to do as a part of a series. I recently went to Rachel Hollis's virtual conference, Rise Live, and it was amazing. So good. I printed out my workbook. I have been rewatching it. I had like 2 weeks to watch the replay, and I've been telling all my friends, all my family about it. And so what I'm gonna do is kind of break up each section. There was several speakers that had their time to kind of go over what they wanted to say and talk about. And so what I'm going to do is break that up into 9 sections and just kind of give you guys like a recap and my thoughts on everything, just some notes for you guys to take down, because I feel like it is so good, and so many of you have not had the chance to know some of this stuff, to go to the conference or to read any of Rachel's books or podcasts. I mean, there's so much information that I have received, and so many tools and tricks and tips that I have implemented in my life just from this one single person. And if you guys need any help in any of these areas, I just want that information to be available to you. And just know that if you guys are struggling right now, if you're going through a hard time, you're not alone, especially right now being in quarantine with all the uncertainty that we are all facing every day, that now is the time more than ever to really just get your life in check. Just take a step back and say, where do I want to be in 5 years? Is this the person, that I've always dreamed of being? Am I living my dream life? Am I doing what I was created to do? Every one of you was put on this earth for a specific reason and a purpose. And if you don't believe that, we'll talk. And there's so much to learn. We are constantly evolving and growing and learning every day, and that's actually one of the first things that I want to talk about is mindset and perspective. And there's 2 different types of people out there. There's someone who has a fixed mindset, and there's someone who has a growth mindset. And for the longest time, I think I was stuck in that fixed mindset of, this is it. This is my life. I'm never going to grow. I'm never going to learn new things. These are the skills that I possess. And if I don't have it, then I'm never going to have it. And especially when I was going through a really hard time for those 9 months that I was stuck in the house, stuck literally on my couch, not really leaving the house at all, I had that fixed mindset of even taking it to the point when it came to my pain and my endometriosis, that it became a self-fulfilling prophecy, that I knew I was going to be in pain, and I knew I was going to be, bedbound. And I kept feeding that into my mind, because that was my fixed mindset. That this is where I am, this is what's happening, and it's not going to change. So in creating those thoughts and focusing on that one singular aspect, I made those words true. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy of thinking that I was going to be in pain, and my body physically reacting to that, because it was the one thing that I was focusing in on. And so I created the pain. And as soon as I snapped myself out of that, and this is why I'm so passionate about when I talk about Rachel Hollis and how she is pretty much mentioned in every one of my videos, and I try and tell everyone that I can about her and what she believes and everything she teaches, because I picked up Girl Wash Your Face. I rented it from the library. I didn't even have the money to buy it at the time. I picked up that book, I started reading, and that was the stepping stone that I needed to start changing my life. When I say that she changed my life, I'm not exaggerating. I am not idolizing her. I am simply stating the fact that once her words and her truth came into my life, I was never the same. My pain decreased. I got out of a relationship that was not healthy for either of us. I moved to Hawaii to spend time with my family. Reading her book completely started me on a different path where it's been growth, where I'm not standing still. I am not, lukewarm water. So everything up until this point, it has been because I picked up that book. And that's why I'm so passionate and want to share that with you guys, because I know the impact that some of these things that you don't think about, that no one's taught you, it just doesn't click because you don't change the way that you're viewing things. It's so powerful. So the difference between fixed mindset and growth mindset is exactly what it sounds like. You're either fixed and staying stuck in what you believe and where your life is, or you see growth for your life and you see opportunities for growth everywhere. So one thing that she mentioned was everything that's going around right now. You're paralyzed with fear. You're having anxiety. You're having worry. You're not knowing what is ahead for you right now because there's so much uncertainty. So you need to face those fears head on. You need to put them into a what if statement. What if I lose my job? What if I can't feed my family? What if you can't pay your car payment? All of these things that are happening right now in your life, figure out what they are, write them down, face them head on. But then you flip them and you say, what if when you lose your job, you have all this opportunity to do what you really love to do? What if you lose your job and you have more time to spend with your family? You have time to explore those hobbies and those dreams and just pour into yourself. It may be hard to focus on the fixed mindset of all of the bad, negative, horrible, awful things that could happen to you. But when you flip it around and you really try and open your mind to the possibilities of this situation not happening to you, but it happening for you, it is a game changer. I know so many people in my life, or that I have not experienced personally, but I've seen throughout my life, who think that life is happening to them. And when I finally got that point where I was on the outside of my depression, and when it wasn't completely controlling me, I was able to step outside of that lens and look how life was happening for me. And it is an amazing feeling when you can look at any situation, anything that is happening around you in your life, and you can ask yourself, what if this is happening for me? What good can come out of this? You could list all of the ways, all of the bad things that could come out of this situation. And some of those things have the potential for happening. But one analogy that she used is that if you look at a plate of nachos, there's a huge plate of nachos, everything piled up on there. That plate is everything that you are worried about, everything possibly that could possibly go wrong in the infinity of time. If you look at the tortilla chip, That is the thing that could potentially happen, realistically happen, that one tortilla chip. If you go even further in and you look at a single jalapeno seed, that tiny, tiny, tiny little seed is what could actually happen, is what probably will happen, that tiny thing. So when you step outside of the mindset of just focusing of all these things that could possibly go wrong, you have to flip that and see all of the things that could possibly go right, all of the things that you never imagined for yourself, things that because you had all of these priorities and your life was planned a certain way and you were so preoccupied maybe with pouring into other people instead of into yourself, that the possibilities are endless. So that's just one thing that I wanted to mention, just between like the fixed mindset and growth mindset and the what if statements. So I actually I wrote out a few of my what if statements. Here's the little analogy for the nachos. So what if this side, what if I can't pay my bills? That's fixed mindset. Growth mindset, what if this time opens up new growth opportunities for me? One example, I am a pet sitter. I do pet care full time. My background as a zookeeper back in Kentucky has helped me tremendously with this. And so I have the experience with animals. It is my passion, it is my love, apart from singing, but it's what I do for work. Ever since I moved to Hawaii, I knew I wanted to work on my own. I wanted to make my own money for myself. So I started going, around doing word of mouth. I created flyers, websites, everything myself. And I was paying my bills. I was saving money. I was doing pretty good. Well, quarantine happened. I can't leave the house. No one is leaving town. No one is going on vacations. Half of the people I know aren't working right now. So that pretty much eliminates the demand for what I do for a living. So I've had to constantly brainstorm and work and build that growth mindset, what if, of how I'm going to be able to support myself, how I'm going to be able to pay my bills. I've looked for jobs online as transcriptionist and voiceover and all these things that I've had to expand and I've had to adapt and grow. But because I've done so much work in growing myself before this happened, I was mentally prepared to know that if the worst thing happens, it's gonna be okay. I'm going to figure it out because I always have. I have always figured it out. I have always known that it's gonna be okay. Because it's okay. I am still breathing breath on this earth. So my story's not over yet. And if you are watching this and if you are breathing breath, then your story is not over yet. So if the worst thing possibly happens, give yourself a plan, be prepared for what you can do if it happens. Because the majority of the time, the worst thing that you're possibly imagining is not actually going to happen. So you need to think realistically, but think about, it doesn't even have to be something that you think you can do. Something that is in the back of your mind that's always been a dream or a hope or a goal or a hobby. Maybe you now have time for all of that because this is happening for you. That is so, so important. One other thing that you have to remember is that everything that's happened in your past is affecting how you're looking at this time right now. So, previous to when Girl Wash Your Face came into my life, I would have been viewing my current situation from that past mindset. and things would have been very dark. They would have been hard. I would have thought that life was happening to me. I would have thought that it's never going to be okay, that this is just the end of everything, that I'm unloved, I'm unworthy, I'm, all these negative things. But since my past is now, I have that time where I've been working on myself and I've been pouring into myself and developing all of these tools within me, that I'm now able to see things more clearly and more positively. So look back, write it down, journal it out, what's happened in your past to be shaping how you're seeing things in your life right now. I want you guys to know that there's hope, that this is not the end, that even though life may seem really, really scary and you're full of fear and anxiety and concern for yourself and your family and those around you, it may seem from the media or social media or people around you that life is just crumbling all around you, because the majority of the big major wheels that control everything, they drive off of your fear. They want you to be afraid because they want to be the ones that rescue you. But I'm here to tell you that you don't need anyone to rescue you. You have the power within yourself. That song that I was jamming to at the beginning of this video was because I felt the fear, I felt the anxiety, I felt the unworthiness starting to creep in just seconds before I was about to push play on this video. I had to remind myself that I am a champion. You knock me down, I'm getting back up again. I can do anything. You can do anything. Think about it this way. What if the person that you're supposed to be is on the other side of this situation, of everything that you're going through right now? What if you had to go through this hard time to grow and build up the strength mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, to be able to handle what is waiting for you on the other side of this? If I look at my dream life, the life that everything is going exactly how I want it to, I would be the happiest I could ever be 5 years from now, I am not equipped. I do not have the tools. I do not have the knowledge right now in this time to be that person. Now, I will be growing the whole time from here to then, and I will be able to get all of that knowledge and those tools so that when that happens, I am ready for it. But right now, I'm not there. And we are constantly evolving. We are constantly changing. And you have to give yourself a goal. You have to give yourself an end result. That when you look at your life, what would the best version of yourself be? And we have to learn through that whole time. We have to grow and be tested and put this knowledge into practice so that we're ready to be that person when that time finally comes. So I hope that you start to take stock of your life, of your thoughts, of your actions, of the people around you, because everything matters. Every word that speaks out of your mouth, it's either speaking life or death into yourself and to everyone around you. And so if you are still here, if you are watching this right now, you are loved, you are strong, you are beautiful, you are worthy. And I hope you believe that. I hope you know that. And if you don't, I will know it for you until you get to that point. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I am so excited to share the rest of all of these great, amazing talks and points and tools and tips that I have got from this conference. It was 11 hours worth of just knowledge. So that's why I'm splitting it up into 9 different videos, because it's a lot to take in. But I think it's really important for me to slap you in the face with this knowledge, because I had to be slapped in the face with it. It's not easy to look at your life and say, wow, that's where I need to step it up. So I hope you guys have a beautiful week. Happy Mother's Day once again to all of you guys. I hope you love and enjoy and happiness, and I'm praying for you guys. If you have any prayer requests, leave them down in the comments below. I would love to pray for you. So I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.